Hey everyone, Andrew here. So if you're like me, your game backlog is probably pretty awful right now. Well, a certain little thing came out today that I need to talk about. I want to talk about mostly. It's definitely going to be a big deal for a lot of fans of the franchise, and of course I'm talking about a certain remaster of this classic right here, Final Fantasy Tactics. Now this is my original copy, like genuinely my original copy. Unfortunately, over time, the case, was lost. Very sad about that. I really wish I had a complete in-box for this, but I display this on my shelf as is. In the background, it's kind of hard to see. It's right next to my Phantasy Star Online for GameCube, which is located somewhere behind those lights, actually, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyways. Yeah, this has been in my collection for literal decades at this point. And so yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the remaster that they just put out. It's a beautiful remaster. I got it on the Switch too, and I'm genuinely impressed with what they've done. So yeah, without further ado, let's check it out together, shall we? I'm going to do something a little differently. So a lot of people probably start by talking about the remaster. I want to talk about the classic version, because the really cool thing about this release is that the War of the Lions script was implemented into this classic version of the game. And something that I think a lot of people might not know about this release is that this is actually a complete rebuild of the game. Supposedly, they lost all the original code and scripts for this game. So it's really neat that they bothered to actually give us this mode in the first place. And honestly, just looking at these graphics again, like this is taking me back really far into the past, and it's got me feeling things, you know what I'm saying? We got these super clean, always charming PS1 era visuals, which, they're just simple and clean. It's the way that you're making me feel tonight. It's hard to let it go. Sorry about that. But, we're also getting the superior translation with the War of the Lions translation. Which is, it's an absolute win, and this is something we've never had before in an official release, like having the original version, like a gameplay version of Tactics. And I mean, it's technically not even the original, it's a rebuilt version, but still, it's really cool having like the PS1 style Tactics with the PSP translation that came way later. Just overall, super nice. There's some quality of life changes that I'm not really too familiar with at this point in time, but they say that they're there, so I'm going to trust them. And overall, it's really cool experiencing this version again, especially experiencing it first before we dive into the remaster, because there's a lot that changes with the remaster, and I mean a lot. Like, I want you to study this battle scene for a little bit, okay? And I'll mention it later. What changes, because there's quite a bit outside of the obvious. The important thing here to note is that basically you've got two great Final Fantasy Tactics versions to play. I'll go ahead and say it, both of these are great. It's really awesome getting to experience the original version this way, and yeah, I really don't know what else to tell you other than this is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece game that I grew up playing, I adore it, and I really do think you should play it if you are into RPGs. Even as a first-time Tactics RPG, like, this is a fantastic one. You really don't get much better than this. Well, I say that, and while this is definitely the nostalgia pick for me, and I definitely will play through this version of the game specifically just to re-experience my childhood, the remastered version that is also in this package is just a bit better, and by just a bit better I mean holy crap. I was not expecting this level of effort going into this remake, and it has blown me away. Like, genuinely, they've done such a great job. There's actually a difficulty selection now, which I think Tactician is basically the difficulty of like the original game, so that is the difficulty I went with. So I'm going to let this ride because this opening cinematic is actually really cool. And I think I just want to address some of the controversy surrounding this release. So, cut content. I know everyone was talking about it before launch. Basically, War of the Lions on PSP added a few things that were not present in the original PS1 game. And they are not in this version because this is based off of the PS1 game. So, effectively, what we don't have here is Luso from Final Fantasy Tactics A2 Grimoire of the Rift and Balthier from Final Fantasy 12. Basically, they were crossover characters that very much part of the world of Ivalice. But frankly, I don't mind that they're not present because they were just bonus characters, and they were kind of just used as a potential way to get some more sales on the PSP version of this game. Would it have been cool to have them included? Yeah, of course. But do I need them? No, not really. They didn't really add to the story in any meaningful way. So I'm kind of in the camp of just like, it's whatever. Also cut from the game. It's not even cut because I mean it wasn't in the original game to begin with. 2 jobs, Onion Knight and Dark Knight. And yeah, I'll admit this one's a little bit of a bummer. However, in War of the Lines, it took a really long time and a lot of extra grinding to get both of these. And by the time that you do unlock them, you were pretty much overpowered to the point where you most likely have cleared most of the content in game. Again, this would have been a nice to have, and they could have found a way to implement it a little bit sooner into the game, you know, maybe a little less grinding. But ultimately, you really wouldn't get much use out of them in their original state, so their omission is not the worst. And finally, cut from this version. Again, I don't like calling it a cut because we knew from the beginning this was the PS1 version, but the PSP version had multiplayer. Now, this might be the biggest deal for some people out of what's missing, but even then, I really cannot remember spending much time, if any, in multiplayer. I would imagine that it would have been cool to have some form of online component, but ultimately, what you're here for is the phenomenal story and gameplay. And let me tell you, this remaster does some really crazy stuff. On top of being a new translation from Matsuno, with, you know, revisions to make it work for voice acting, which, man, does the voice acting really work. Like, I just have to show you. Let's watch some of this little cutscene, and then I'm going to jump into combat. First, I want you to take note of the graphics, because, man, I love the filter being used, along with these really nice low-poly models and sprites.
O Father, abandon not your wayward children of Ivalice, but deliver us from our sins, that we might know salvation.
Lady Ophelia, it is time.
I'll not be much longer, Agrias.
Your escort has already arrived.
Please, heed the good lady's words, Highness. You must hurry.
Still in here, are you? It's been the better part of an hour.
Gafgarian, you forget yourself, sir. You are in the presence of the princess.
Mayhap bowed heads would less offend.
So, fun little fact, you cannot rename Ramza in this version of the game, which, you know, I thought that was kind of interesting, but, you know, it all makes sense when you consider that, you know, they actually have voice acting this time around. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with the voice acting. It definitely helps that a certain Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16 is in this game as well, lending his voice talents. You'll notice right away, I mean, outside of the obvious, like the much sharper visuals and, you know, the new sprites and just overall higher polish and higher quality image. Also, it's completely widescreen, you know, it looks great. Like, this looks phenomenal to me. You'll notice on the left side of the screen, there's actually a turn order. So now you can actually see who's going when, which is really good for playing on Tactician because you can, you know, make more choices and, you know, everything you can do based off of timelines. So you can see like, oh, well, this guy's going to go before that guy, so I'll kill him first. Stuff like that. It's nice to have. Another nice thing to have is it actually tells you how much damage you're going to do to an enemy, which is really cool. That's something that was not present in the original game. You could see how much HP you had and how much HP the enemy had, and, you know, some other stats and stuff like that, but you never directly got to see how much damage you were going to do to a target, at least potential damage. This is a really nice thing to have here, and overall, this is just such an awesome upgrade to an already amazing game, and I highly recommend this. Like, you know, definitely give the classic mode a try first. I feel that way you can really appreciate what this new remade version brings to the table, because not only does it look really nice and have a really actually really good filter. I really do like the filter they use. It gives it that kind of canvas oil painting look to it. It's very appropriate for an Ivalice game, honestly. Yeah, I'm just very thrilled with this, and I hope this game does well, because I want to see more Final Fantasy Tactics, either a new entry by Yoshi P's team, you know, because we know they can make high quality games, with Final Fantasy 16 in particular being as nice as it is visually, but also it'd be really cool to see remakes of the Game Boy Advance and the DS Final Fantasy Tactics games in this same style. And that's a little, you know, that's leaning into the least likely scenario, I feel. I think if they are going to go forward with Tactics, they will probably make a actual proper sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics, like a real true sequel. But we'll see. I'm really happy with this, and I highly recommend it. I've said it a few times on this channel, but I think Final Fantasy Tactics is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And I am so thrilled that right now, on pretty much any platform that you want, you can have what is effectively the best version of the game, along with a revised and much better and improved version of, you know, the classic PS1 version. Like, I'm serious. Having the PS1 version with the War of the Lions translation is really cool. And having a new revision to the script for the remake is phenomenal. I really like it, and it is definitely there to facilitate voice acting, but I think it's really cool, and I can't stop saying it. Go play this game. Seriously, just go play it. I don't care what platform you played it on. Switch 2, by the way, performance-wise, phenomenal. Like, it's flawless, but I mean, it should be, right? So yeah, I'm just very happy to report that this is just an absolute banger, 100%. Soundtrack by Hitoshi Sakamoto always hits. I've mentioned him many times on this channel, and I mention him again here because, you know, this is kind of one of his earlier works, and I think it holds up to this day. This entire game just holds up super well to this day. The story, the characters, the gameplay, just everything about it is a perfect package. And it absolutely gets the Andrew seal of approval. I just made that up just now. That doesn't exist. But you just need to know that I think this is a high quality product, and I would wholeheartedly recommend that you go buy it and go play it. I know it can be a little crazy these days with how insane backlogs are getting, but this game, like, you don't have to, like, sit there and, like, play it 100% through. Like, you can make this game a really solid, just side game. Like, this is the perfect kind of game, like, especially on Switch 2, where you just, you know, sit down, play a couple fights, you know, experience the story a little bit. It's very well suited to be a handheld experience, I feel. Plus, something nice you can do in the actual remake, so the Ivalice Chronicles mode, is you can actually pause cutscenes. In the classic mode, you cannot do that. It just skips the cutscene. But just good information to have. Yeah, I need to go now. I need to keep playing this game and jerk all of my adult responsibilities. Anyways, hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time.
Let me think. You will fall! My time is up.
Unhand me!
No! Lady Ovelia!
This way. Hurry up. And try making a little less noise.
I'll not take orders from you!
You've quite a mouth on you, Princess.
Hold there!
I think not. If you feel wronged, blame yourself or the father.
This cannot be.
The leader. He lives. But why does he serve under the banner of Duke Goltana? I do not understand.